I just it's really, it really blows my mind. So what happens is when we take this um, substance into our bodies, it affects our bodies, right? It affects our brain, and it affects our heart. In many ways, but on the microscopic level, in our brain, we have neurons, and several billion neurons that communicate to each other with lightning speed. And these little neurons that are microscopic, you have to have a high powered scope to even see them. They have they're shaped like a, I don't know, weird egg, and then they have these axon. It's the cell body. This is the cell. And then they have these axons, and that goes down to slip nodes. And when we take in, our body naturally creates chemicals that we're pleasure-seeking people, and it's difficult to it's difficult to get out of that cycle when all that we're so used to introducing stimulants into our bodies, but our bodies create that stimulation and those pleasure chemicals and warning chemicals naturally. But when we add something like nicotine and carbon monoxide and tar and ammonia through smoking tobacco, it hijacks these sensors on the end that communicate to other sensors from other neurons, and they billions of them. And what happens is we get the high. We get the high from the nicotine. It makes us have a little more energy. Stimulates us, makes us feel a little bit better. But the cost is tremendous cost. And the costs for tobacco smoking: cardiac disease, cancer, many kinds of diseases. Tobacco combined overshadows hard drugs like cocaine and heroin and methamphetamine and alcohol too, combined. The deaths that are related to illicit drugs and illegal drugs and illicit drugs, tobacco overshadows them by 4 times combined. 1,000 people in Virginia Beach, about the so Sacramento, Long Beach, Kansas, Virginia, and Atlanta all have for about 480,000 people in it. So over a 5-year period, those cities would be wiped out if everybody in those cities smoked tobacco. Pack or 2 a day. Those are the statistics. That's how huge of a problem this is. And all our emphasis is on it seems like all our emphasis is on illegal drugs like cocaine and fentanyl. I mean, certainly they're a killer, but compared to tobacco, it just doesn't even compare, which is mind-blowing to me. Cardiovascular problems or related deaths, respiratory related deaths, lung cancer. It's a tremendous problem. And so it's interesting that we have a book that diagnose disorders called the DSM-5. And this book is used by clinical psychologists and therapists all over the world. And one of the diagnoses is this tobacco use, and all that's related to it, the nicotine, the carbon monoxide, the tar, the ammonia, all that, and the addiction. Some say that nicotine and tobacco here is so hard to kick that it's almost worse than trying to kick a hard drug like heroin, because it just takes you, and it's so difficult to quit. So very, very important that we educate our kids in a more productive way. And I know that the conspiracy underneath that is this is $1 billion business, like billions and billions. They pay, these businesses pay the government, they pay lobbyists to keep this money rolling in, and they really don't care about how this affects people's lives. But the people who are smoking the cigarettes love them. At least that's what they do it because it's addictive, and there's a reason why they smoke, and it in their minds it has to be pleasurable, and the effects, they're just it's just difficult to see it, and then once you get hooked, it's difficult to get out of it. So it's really just divisive. Really, what the question comes down to is, educating for preventive purposes for our youth better than we do, and figuring out a more effective way to deal with the addiction to tobacco, because it is legal. It's easy to get, easy to consume. For those of us who've struggled with hard substance abuses, it's better than that. They think it's a thinking error. They think smoking tobacco is better than drinking alcohol, or having heroin or methamphetamine or cocaine, and a variety of those things. I get it, because there are deaths that are related to that, right? But people got to get the bigger picture that tobacco deaths, related deaths, are far more significant than hard drugs. Does it ruin your life like a hard substance like meth addiction ruins lives? No, but they kill a lot more slowly. So that would be my creating awareness. So thank you for this opportunity.